Shek here with a special edition of the Shek Report. With all the attention paid to another great Tony Romo performance, punctuated by another bad Tony Romo turnover, I felt I needed to cut out all the noise and provide you with a reality check. Now, I'm not here to bash Tony Romo. He's an exceptional talent. He makes plays few other QBs playing now or maybe even ever could make.
However, to say he's prone to making big mistakes in big spots isn't an opinion, it's a fact. This zero-sum game Romopologists play,
the one that forces us to decide whether he's great or a choker, is silly. My answer to that question is C, both of the above. If that makes me an idiot, put me in a dunce cap and call me Swifty. I was being figurative. Anywho.
Listen, I have no horse in the NFC East race. Whether Tony Romo succeeds or fails has little to no impact on my level of happiness. Yeah, he was great for 57 minutes last Sunday, until he did this. That's triple coverage he's throwing into. He was also great for 57 minutes in last year's game against the Redskins with a playoff spot on the line, until he did this. Same goes for this December game in Pittsburgh a few years back. Now, you notice I'm not bringing up the fumbled snap in that Seattle playoff game. Why? Because it was a fluke. It happened once, and everyone deserves a second chance. But Tony's now on chance number 8, as in 8 seasons. 8 seasons as the starter, and he's got 1 playoff win. 1! That's the same number of wins as Matt Schaub has. The Romopologists, all of whom are sitting up on Mount Pius, where the self-righteous know-it-alls look down on the rest of us, call anyone who doesn't agree with their Romo praise idiots. Now, you can try browbeating us unwashed masses into some higher understanding of football, but they do continue to play the season through the Super Bowl for a reason, so it's got to count for something. How much does it count? I'm not sure.
I will offer this suggestion, though. Let's just stop keeping score of the games. Instead, let's just gather around our laptops and swoon over the stats. In your deluded universe, Lombardies don't matter as much as quarterback ratings, right?
And it's in that universe where your snarky rhetoric inevitably gives way to your petulant straw man argument that goes something like,
so you think Trent Dilfer is better than Dan Marino, too? No. No one thinks that, including Trent Dilfer.
Here's another delusional dictum of the Romopologists. The quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys is inherently subjected to more criticism than anyone else. First of all, it's not 1982 anymore. We all see all the games and watch all the highlights and hear all the analysis ad nauseum. Secondly, please go up to a sleepy little town called New York City and ask Eli Manning about criticism. If you think it's wrong to knock a guy who threw for 500 yards, what about ripping a guy with 2 Super Bowl rings?
But Dave, Tony doesn't play defense. It's not his fault they gave up 51 points. Yes, it's Romopologists' excuse number 9. He's got no talent around him.
Never mind that he has Des Bryant and Jason Witten and DeMarco Murray and DeMarcus Ware and Brandon Carr and Sean Lee and Morris Claiborne. Let's just go with the assertion that the Cowboys are a lousy team with no offensive line. Aaron Rodgers and Ben Roethlisberger recently won Super Bowls behind bad lines. You know who else is on a lousy team? This guy. No, that's not Roger Moore circa 1973. That's Tom Brady, whose talent-poor team is 4-1. Romo throws to Des Bryant. Brady throws to Matt Mulligan.
Matt Mulligan? That's not even a real name.
Does Romo deserve all the blame? Of course not. But he's the QB, and as such, no one should assume he's immune to the fundamental, if overly simplistic notion he'll get the lion's share of the praise or grief, especially when he's held up by his supporters as a superhero,
or dare I even use the word, elite. Which is it? Is he great or not?
Because if he is, then I'd ask if you recall Superman saying at the end of the movie, hey, Jimmy Olsen, I've gotten us this far. How about you take it from here?
Here's a solution. Draft him for your fantasy team, because here in reality, he's a nightmare. Otherwise, Romopologists, take comfort in your numbers. You can pat each other on the back for understanding football on a higher plane. I won't bother with sound bites from Deion Sanders or Jerry Rice validating my side. Instead, let's just close with what this fella thinks.
It's about winning and losing. I think as a quarterback, you know that.
Thanks, Tony. You said it all.
Shek.